Hi, my name is Amanda. I am the pre-lit or pre-litigation manager with Stanley and Associates. This is a great opportunity for me just to kind of introduce myself to you and just explain a little bit about what I do with the company. I was born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and lived there for the first 30 years of my life. I just moved to Texas about 4 years ago with my husband and our one dog at the time. Since then, we've adopted another dog and have made Texas a second home for us, essentially. It's been pretty amazing. I have a lot of family back home, though. I have 3 sisters and my parents and my stepdad, so we're all really close still, but it's been a challenge being away from them for sure, but Texas has been amazing for us. What inspired me to pursue my current career is I just find the law kind of fascinating because there's so many different facets of it and so many different avenues that you could take in it. When I originally got started in it, I actually wanted to do criminal or family law, but PI or personal injury just kind of fell into my lap, to be very honest. I just kind of fell in love with it. Every day is different and every case is very different, which I found very intriguing. I've been doing this for about 9 years now and I'm still learning something new every day, which is exciting. What I think sets me apart from others in my field is just my strong and intense desire for justice for the little guy. I think that's probably my favorite part about personal injury, to be honest, is there's so many people that have gone through something traumatic and it's really putting them in a vulnerable situation where they honestly just don't know how to handle it because it's really overwhelming. Insurance companies are predatory, so they're just trying to make the quick dollar and get it done and over with and not looking out for these people's best interest at heart. So I think that's what really kind of sets me apart is I do have that empathy and compassion where I'm trying to look out for my clients in every facet possible. A challenge that I've encountered in my career was honestly just getting my foot in the door. It was extremely challenging for me getting out of college as far as where do I want to go, what do I want to pursue. So my first job in the legal field was actually in a bankruptcy foreclosure law firm, and that was too much for me. It was extremely challenging because it was so hard destroying people's lives day in and day out. So for me, it was just kind of figuring out what type of law can I go into that I'm going to do something that's going to help people. And that's kind of how I ended up in personal injury. Once I got the opportunity, the biggest challenge was just don't squander it because it might not appear again. So it was just proving day in and day out that I'm going to do everything I can to make the clients happy and to stay in communication so they know what we're doing and why we're looking out for them and why they made the smart choice to go this route. How I stay motivated in my profession and continue to grow, it's actually pretty easy being a manager versus being just kind of another case manager. Because as a manager, my goal is to just never disappoint my team or my clients. As far as my team members and my colleagues, at least if I can show them that I'm doing everything I can for them and our clients day in and day out, hopefully it inspires them to want to do the same. One case in particular that I can recall that really stands out in my memory as being kind of a win for me in my career was this case a couple of years ago where the client was in a really traumatic accident and she sustained significant injuries that ultimately required her to get surgery. We were fighting against an insurance company that is notoriously bad at negotiations and trying to undervalue a client's case and what they've gone through. I basically just put my foot down with the adjuster and I told her, listen, I'm not even willing to negotiate on this one. I know what you have available on this policy and I know that my client's trauma is worth significantly more than what you already have. I kind of just put it on hold and said, talk to me when you're ready to acknowledge what I'm presenting to you. And it took a couple of months and a couple months of my client kind of getting frustrated and wanting the process to be done. At the end of the day, when I was trying to explain to her, listen, this is all in your best interest and that's what my job is. She ultimately understood, and when she got her paycheck at the end of the day, she understood and she was really grateful that I did just stay firm on it because ultimately that insurance company saw the value and said, you know what, you're right, here's every cent we have, and it was a great day for all of us.
So you have such glowing reviews from our clients. They trust you, they like you. How do you maintain such a good relationship with them?
I have a balancing act of having empathy with my clients and also being assertive and confident with my clients. Our clients, again, as I said, they're very vulnerable at this time. They've probably been through something new and they have these companies or these doctors that are hounding them. We need to have that empathy of understanding what they're going through, being able to tell them like, hey, we're on your side here. We want to help you through this difficult process, but also being assertive and confident enough that they understand you made the right choice here. When it comes to hiring a personal injury attorney, there's endless possibilities, as we all know. And coming to a smaller firm, I actually think it takes a lot of guts, but coming to a small firm allows you to get that more personalized experience, that more feeling of you're not just a number on their caseload. I think that's kind of how I've been able to achieve some good reviews in my career, is that ability to kind of walk that fine line and get people to understand that they actually mean something to our company. At the end of the day, proving that to them by getting them a fair result.
What are some passions or interests of yours outside of the office? What does Amanda like to do when she's not here?
So some personal interests of mine, honestly, I am a music fiend. I love just listening to albums or going to album stores with my husband. That's like a perfect Saturday for us, is rummaging through old antique places and finding those hidden little treasures, and then sitting on our balcony watching the sunset with our dogs and having a glass of wine, listening to albums. But that translates to going to a lot of music festivals and things like that as well. Any type of live music, sign me up and I am there. Especially if there's any type of outdoor seating where there's animals running around, because animals are my other main passion.
Who's your favorite artist?
So as far as my favorite artist goes, I am all over the place. One band in particular that I've seen in concert multiple times, they're called The Killers. They're pretty alternative indie, and I've been listening to them for longer than I care to admit. So I think they're probably my favorite band.
Tell us about the dogs.
About my dogs, who are basically the loves of my life, I have two. The first one, his name is Parker, and he is a 9-year-old little dachshund that we adopted while we still lived in Wisconsin. He is stubborn and sassy and absolutely wonderful. And then the other one we just adopted about 3 years ago. His name is Ramen Noodle. Actually came from the Athens Animal Shelter, and he is amazing and wonderful. He is about a 70-pound mix of who knows what, but he is pure energy and joy and happiness, and he's pretty awesome.